time for another Sims 4 Pokemon build because I've still been playing Pokemon Pokopia non-stop, and I thought how fun would it be to build homes for the different Eeveelutions in The Sims 4. Even if you're unfamiliar with Pokemon, I still feel like this is gonna turn out really cool because the Eeveelutions are all inspired by different elements and nature. There are 8 of them, so we're gonna be building 8 homes today, and they're all different evolutions of the popular Pokemon Eevee. And I'll tell you a little bit more about each of them as we go on. So to start off, I was playing around before filming to try and find a way to fit 8 homes onto this lot. And then I came up with pretty much the cutest idea I've ever had. Our shells are going to be Eevee shaped. So I tried this before and I got it. Let me see if we can get it again. So we're coming around, we're doing the cheeks, we gotta come up, finish off the other ear. And like, okay, that's kind of cute, but I think the cheeks need to be a little chubbier. So let me just bring those out a tiny bit. Okay, I feel like that's adorable, but still a little too big. If I make them that big, we're gonna be furnishing these forever. So let me shrink it a tiny bit. Okay, come on, that's adorable. But how the heck are we gonna roof it? I actually have no idea. That seems like it's gonna be a later problem. Okay, so I'm gonna lay these out. We'll have them facing like different ways like this. I wanna make sure they're evenly spaced. So we'll make sure this one's over a tiny bit more. That seems about right. And then in the back, I think I'll combine a couple. So we'll have 2 stacked on top of each other, and then I'll do another 2 right here. So we've got 8 homes all laid out. Another option I was thinking was to just stack them and do like 2 Eevee towers, and it could be like Eevee apartments, but I feel like we're gonna have more freedom the other way so we can landscape the exteriors and stuff like that. I'm going to also raise them up a little bit, and each one is going to be at a different foundation height. That way they're just gonna look like they're all at different heights from the front, and it'll make it look a little bit more interesting that way. Okay, cool. Now we can go in and paint them, and each one is going to represent the different evolution. So our front house can be green for Leafeon, we'll do pink for Sylveon, blue for Vaporeon, purple for Espeon. I think for Umbreon I'm going to do like the darkest gray possible, because if I go super black it's going to look really weird next to all of this color. So we'll go with the dark gray, and then we'll do a really light icy blue for Glaceon. That just leaves orange for Flareon and yellow for Jolteon. Okay, so far our little Eevee world looks like this. Do I have the patience to even roof these today? I don't know, girl. We still gotta talk about my hair. Like, okay, if I was going to roof it, it would probably end up with something like this, which isn't horrible, but I kind of like looking down and seeing all of the Eevee shapes. So let's just go in and fence it. I'm gonna use this one from Enchanted by Nature, and I'm just gonna trace around the top, and I think that'll look cute. Then I can just copy and paste them, and I'll change up the color for each one too. Like Sylveon is gonna be all pink, so I'll change that. I'll just make sure they match the overall color. I'm adding some different trims around each one, and all right, I think we're good with the layout. Let's start with the exterior for Leafeon. Leafeon is a grass type Pokemon. They have plant-like abilities, and they can even use photosynthesis to purify the air around them while sleeping in the sunlight. So we're gonna go for a really planty inspired exterior, and while we do that, we're gonna talk about my hair. I don't know if you guys saw it, but in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to go blonde. As you can tell, that didn't happen, which like, okay, I was kind of exaggerating. Like I knew, like I mentioned in that video as well, I had been box dyeing my hair red for years. So I knew this was not about to be a walk in the park kind of journey. I have been down this road before, from the box dye to blonde. Like I know it sucks and it is what it is, okay? But this is where we end up, and I do feel somehow like my hair is darker than it was when it started. Let me explain. And like, this is no shade to the girl that did my hair. Again, I realize this is quite the task to take on. But let me just show you, okay? So we lifted to here. She's orange, but honestly I was kind of okay with it. I'm like, yes, all right, I'm serving like Hayley Williams realness. I'm into it. I was kind of down for like a light coppery, so I was like, in my head I'm like, maybe we just tone this and end up there, I don't know. But then after we got to that point, we like added dye on top of it, so now we're here. And honestly I do like this color. I'm tempted to just be like, you know what, let's just give up, let's just stay here maybe, I don't know. But she was like, next time, like next couple times we come back, then we'll be able to get it lighter. So this is the journey. This is the starting point. I have another appointment in 3 weeks, so we can give my hair a little rest before bleaching again. And honestly, she did pretty well. It feels really healthy. I'm glad she didn't like just keep bleaching it and like fry my hair off. I'd rather do it in a healthy, like slow way. I don't know if I expected to be darker than when I went in, but again, it's a journey, a hair adventure, if you will. So stay tuned to follow along on that journey. But here is our Leafeon house. It's super planty. The interior of this one is going to be so cute too. I basically just went off with the landscaping, and of course we've got the enchanted by nature windows and doors, some for rent shutters in there, and I also added some fences and decks along the back so that each one is going to be easily accessible. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which will be for Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a water type Pokemon. They live close to the water and they're often found quietly resting by their preferred habitat. So naturally, I'm building a little lake by their house. We'll fill that up with water, and I'm also going to add fountains surrounding the house. So I'll show you what these are going to look like when we go into live mode. And there we go. She is beautiful. Is it the Bellagio? No, it's Vaporeon's house. There are some Pokemon to me that just look like royalty, and Vaporeon is one of them for me. Like, they just look so regal. So I'm going in with these fancy get famous columns. And for the door, I'm thinking we change it up and go with Strangerville. I really like Strangerville windows. I feel like they're kind of underrated, especially the taller wall height ones with the shutters. And something about the shape of these shutters kind of reminds me of Vaporeon's like ears, or I guess they're fins, but like the shape of them to me resembles a Strangerville window. There's actually an option for the white and the blue, so let's do that. I love building for a water type because as a water type myself, that's literally a fancy way of saying I'm a Cancer. I love adding water features to any build. My boyfriend is currently experiencing that in real time because we have a Pokopia world together, and I will not stop adding waterfalls. I think around here I'll also add some blue trees. Okay, but there we are for Vaporeon. Now we can go across the way for Sylveon. Sylveon is a fairy type Pokemon. Their look features ribbons and bows. They have cute charm abilities, and they can distract their prey by circling around them and using their aura to weaken their target. This is one of those Pokemon that is just so pretty. No matter what we do, we have to add bows. Like, this house has to be cuteness overload. And since they're a fairy type, I definitely think we have to use some of the fairy doors and windows from Enchanted by Nature, same as the skinnier ones in the back. And I'm also going to hide some of the issues that are going on with the trim just by filling in the spaces with these plants. I also want to decorate around this with the fairy flowers. And since Sylveon is pink and blue, I feel like we should use these ones. This one has to be so cute it almost makes you sick. That is their power. Around this one, I'm going to add some pink trees. And there we go. There is Sylveon's. Honestly, it's so cute. It kind of looks like a cake, but we've got 3 of them done so far. Let's move on and do this middle one. This one is going to be for Espeon, who is personally my favorite Eeveelution. Espeon is a psychic type Pokemon. They're able to predict various things like the weather and enemies' thoughts and movements. They're very loyal, and they can build their psychic power by bathing in the sunlight. So I want to give Espeon a little sunlight, like a skylight on their roof so that sunlight can come in. So we've got those glass pieces there from Island Living. And then I'm tempted to give Espeon some life and death doors. But I also feel like our windows for this one are really important. I'm tempted to use the My Wedding Stories stained glass windows, or we just use a big window that lets in a lot of light. Maybe these windows from Industrial Loft. Like, I want a lot of sunlight coming in here, but I just feel like Espeon has this like mysterious vibe to them, which is why I'm also tempted by life and death. They do have a little gem on their forehead. It's like a red gem. So I'm gonna add this light right above the door. And I'm going into live mode and I'm changing that over to red. You know what? I think in the back we can do a stained glass window moment. I'll just have 2 there. I've added more bigger windows. And I feel like we need a comfy couch out here or some patio furniture, somewhere where this sim could come and sit or take a nap in the sun. I feel like this season's patio furniture matches like the color scheme really well. And this is great because they have a nice big deck space. They are also the most cat-like of all of these Eeveelutions. So I feel like I should maybe add something outside for that as well. Like even just a little cat bed. All right, so we have Espeon's house and our world is kind of coming together now. I think the next one should be for Umbreon. Umbreon is a dark type Pokemon, and Umbreon is basically the opposite of Espeon. They thrive in the darkness and moonlight. The moon's aura fills them up with power, and they can see clearly in total darkness. I've been going back and forth on if I want Umbreons to be on the top floor or the bottom, because if we're on the top floor, we could do something similar with Espeon for like the glass roof, and then the moonlight could come in, and then Glaceon could be on the bottom. That makes sense in my head. Then the moonlight can come in. Like you can see the glow already in there at nighttime. Daytime might be a problem, but maybe we have like ceiling curtains that just close off the skylight during the day. Okay, but I just found these windows from Realm of Magic. There's also the moon ones that could be really cool, but they're for medium wall heights and up top is gonna stay a short wall. So you know what? We're gonna switch it. I'm not gonna do this moonlit idea. I feel like the sunlight would probably drive them nuts anyway. Yeah, okay, this is gonna work out better. We also probably have a similar door we can use. I do like the moon one from Realm of Magic as well, but I'm trying to avoid too much color for Umbreon. I think I want it to be a very like black and gold interior since those are their colors, so I'm just gonna keep it all black for the outside. We can add some gold lighting though, and I could add some of the little moon lights around the door. I think that looks really cute. I think for this sim here, I'm also going to give them a telescope, but this is going to be strictly for moon bathing, and I'm also adding on this black and gold pillow. For the landscaping around their house, I'm using landscaping from Life and Death. I feel like this landscaping just has a darker tone to it, and I might also add some Love Struck lights on their exterior. I feel like these parts needed a little something, so that's going to be Umbreon's house. This place is looking so cool at nighttime right now, by the way. Like, look at the gem on Espeon's house. I'm obsessed. Okay, 3 to go for the outside. Next is going to be Glaceon, and Glaceon is an ice type Pokemon. Glaceon can make themselves freezing cold in the blink of an eye. They can quickly lower their body temperature to turn their fur into needle-sharp icicles. They can create snow out of thin air. They can also freeze some moisture in the atmosphere to create flurries of diamond dust. Okay, so I'm actually also going to take the touch of starlight from Umbreon's house, but I'm going to go ahead and change the lighting of this to white. And I'm hoping this is going to kind of look like the snow, like diamond flurries. I mean, okay, you can kind of tell they're silver and not gold. So I'm just going to add this above any of the spots that I added for Umbreon below. And then I guess to keep it similar, I'm going to use Realm of Magic windows above too, but I'm going to use the ones that only fit the wall height. So far I have that, but then I was thinking, what if we added some crystals? Realm of Magic has these bluey crystals that could just look like icicles. So I think I might shrink these and just put them around the border of the fence maybe, or even just in some of the corners. I feel like if we go too overboard with this, it's not gonna look good. So maybe I'll just stick a couple in here and there. All right, so there we have the house for Glaceon. The apartment over here is done, and I feel like those two actually make sense together. We have 2 more to go, and the next one is for Flareon, who is a fire type Pokemon. Unlike Glaceon, Flareon's body temperature increases when they get excited. They can blow out super hot flames, and they have a flame chamber inside their body to help regulate their body temperature. I'm thinking just to keep it kind of similar, I'm going to use the Realm of Magic windows and doors for this. I like that they've got the yellow on there as well, and that will kind of match the upstairs too. And of course, we're going to need all the flames. We've got these big braziers from Get Famous. Life and Death also has these torches we can add around, so we'll just have fires surrounding the entire area. And I would love to have a fire pit out here for them. This could actually be really cute because maybe the Umbreon and Flareon sim hang out together at night out here since we have the telescope. So I added those log benches by the fire, and then I also added some plants around just to tie it together because I feel like it was looking a little weird for a sec. All right, we have 1 more to go, and that is going to be for Jolteon. Jolteon is an electric type Pokemon. They can blast thunderbolts, change their fur into electrically charged needles, and they're a sensitive Pokemon that can easily become sad or angry. So I feel like we're a little tight for window options. I think they have to be similar to the other house just to make sure it stays cohesive, but I want this house to be covered in lights. Like, this has to be the brightest house of all of them. So I'm actually using these from City Living, and I'm just stacking them along like columns. I feel like this is gonna work for like the electric needles I was talking about with their fur. I might also cover their house in Love Struck lights, and with everything, this is our Eevee village all complete. It turned out so good. I'm really happy with like the shape of them. Like, how perfect. Look at those little shapes. I think keeping those shapes and not roofing it was definitely the right move. I love looking at it from the top and just seeing all of them like that, plus all the different colors. This is so good so far, but now we have to furnish the interiors. So I guess we should just start at the front front and make our way around, we can start off here again with Leafeon. So I'm a bit concerned about how our layouts are going to turn out. I think we're going to end up having to do open concept for the most part, but we can do nice big bathrooms in these. But the first thing I'm doing is adding this wallpaper from base game. I want to keep everything similar to their color scheme, so I'm using that light beige wood with this green wallpaper. We can do a beige door and beige tile in the bathroom. We're gonna need a nice lanty bed for Leafeon. I'm using this one from Enchanted by Nature. Although I am looking at their weaknesses, I'm gonna try and avoid anything these Pokemon are weak to. So one of their weaknesses is bugs. Same. Leafeon and I have that in common. This has moths on it, and you know what? I'm not taking any chances. We're gonna go with this bed instead from Outdoor Retreat. Is it weird if I want to use this chair as my end table? And then we could put like a cute little light on it. I think that's adorable. We are not going to use any candles in here, no fire. Looking up the Leafeon aesthetic, we can see it's a very naturey, outdoorsy kind of vibe. So we're definitely going to add lots of plants. I think right here I could add a mirror. Ooh, maybe with some of these plants covering it, like that's cute. Oh, we can definitely use some of the leaf decor. I think this lighting could be cute from high school years. I'm adding a dresser in the corner from cats and dogs. We also have the tiny living leaf pictures. There's a few different swatches for them too. I didn't know, but when I searched up leaf in the search bar, this collection here is called the Leafy Ledge Apothecary Set. Very cute, so I'm adding an apothecary table. Oh, there's these cute little leaf lights from Eco Lifestyle. We for sure need to add these around. Oh, and don't they have an overhead light too? Yeah, this light has leaves on it. It's a little hard to tell with it being so bright, but I'm going to use that for the kitchen area. For the kitchen, we're going to use natural looking counters. So I've wrapped those around in the corner like that. We can use this wooden fridge from Cottage Living. This Enchanted by Nature sink has that leaf as the spout. I don't know if I even want to add an oven in here. I don't think I will. Maybe they just eat like salad. Then we could have a dining table right here. Some planty chairs. Ooh, this planty light from Werewolves is adorable. So I'm adding that with a plant flowing over. And then I'm going to fill the rest up with more hanging plants from Nifty Knitting. As a little ottoman at the end of the bed, I'm going to use these mushroom stools pushed together. I'll use a natural rug from Laundry Day, and I'll add some little chairs here from Enchanted by Nature. All right, so this is the house we have for Leafeon. Honestly, can you really go wrong in The Sims 4 with a room full of plants? I don't think you can. This is how it's looking over to this side. I actually just remembered those leaf streamers from Seasons. They're hidden under like a really festive swatch, so I feel like a lot of people miss those. There is just plants and greenery galore in this one. Again, really hard to go wrong. Now we just have to go and do the bathroom. So I'm gonna reuse that sink that we used. I'm also bringing back in the leafy lights. We can add a bathtub right here. I'm adding more plants surrounding the bathtub. And now all we need is a toilet. Okay, perfect. That was a nice, easy one to start with. We've got our planty bathroom, lots of space in there, and there's our Leafeon house. Okay, let's go to the next one. I think next we'll do Sylveon. This is what came up when I looked up the Sylveon aesthetic. Again, so cutesy, pink, adorable. This is like the girly pop of the Eeveelutions. I think that layout worked well with Leafeon, so I'm gonna keep the same layout with the bathroom over here. And we are going to have pink everything. Pink doors, cutesy pink wallpapers. We'll add pink bathroom tile. We don't have pink wood though, so should I just go full carpet? Maybe not, because I do want to add rugs, so maybe we'll just do like a light flooring. For the bed, I automatically thought of this one from Lovestruck, or there's also this one from High School Years. Maybe that one fits a little better. We'll add bows above all the windows. I'm adding a pink rug under the bed, and I looked it up. Apparently they're only weak to poison and steel. That's not too bad, so there's not many things I really have to avoid for this. I'm gonna add this lamp here. We can add this mirror from Get Famous, or maybe also the heart shelf. I do want to start bringing some blue in here too. I feel like this is a good match, just like super over the top, cutesy. We need a pink dresser. Maybe we have a couple, and then I could also see us with like a vanity. I love using the small vanities. Like I always come back to this one from Parenthood. It's just a desk, but then you can just add like a little mirror over it. The Everyday Clutter Kit also has a tabletop vanity that you can add. Oh, and there's the hard chair from the Pastel Pop Kit. There was a new update in The Sims 4 recently, and I think they added the word kit to like all of these in the filter. Maybe I'm wrong and this has been here forever, but I feel like I just noticed it, and I don't like it. It looks really messy. I need something to hide the fence that's coming in, so I'm just gonna go and add this right here. Oh, actually no, it's a railing. Okay, I can just get rid of the one side. We definitely need fairy highlights in here. For the kitchen, I think I want to go with white counters. Then we could use this cute pink fridge. I don't know why I'm feeling anti like proper oven today, but I am. So I'm gonna add this tabletop oven and we'll add our sink right here. I'm adding these high school years chairs. I'm adding more of these high school years curtains. I've got these cute chairs from Parenthood that I'm gonna have facing this way. And on here we can add a frame TV. Okay, I feel like we have succeeded at the cuteness overload in this room. There's a lot of cuteness, lots of cute stuff going on in here. I really like the kitchen area. I also tried to add some of those streamers up top as like the ribbons. We have our little seating area, our TV. There it is. It decided to not show up from that angle. We also have our bedroom spot. Very adorable. And we're gonna keep it going with the bathroom stuff. There is this swan bathtub. We could also use this super fancy toilet from Get Famous. I don't know why I was also using the Get Famous lights a lot in this house. We can keep the pillars. Maybe we add flowers on here, like surrounding the sink. I'll add some pink towels. And all right, there we have our Sylveon bathroom. Okay, let's move on from here. I think next we'll go and do Espeon. Our layout's gonna change here a little bit, so we'll do bathroom over here. And this is what comes up when we look up the Espeon aesthetic. We're looking at very whimsical, very relaxed, and again, sort of mysterious. Espeon is a very pale purple. I think I'm gonna play around with my purple wallpapers and see what works best. I also don't want my lighting to interfere with the glass pieces up top, so I'm gonna try and make sure they're not in the way. So I'm thinking when you walk in, I want these to be going over the door. And again, this is a psychic type that we're dealing with, so I want to set the vibe the second you walk in the door. I really want to add sun decor, so I'm thinking we put this above the bed. A purple rug underneath would be pretty. We definitely need to have some tarot in here. Ooh, there's also the tarot tent. And again, I'm bringing in the cat bed. We are gonna want Realm of Magic lighting in here. They're weak to bug, ghosts, and the dark, so we're safe to add candles. Oh, and the crystal creation kit also has the sunshine rugs. Ooh, they do have that wallpaper. It's kind of like half moon, half sun. Should I put that in the bathroom? I feel like why not? We need a purple dresser. On there, we can add the tarot deck. The paranormal stuff pictures would also look good in here. And then I'm also trying to go through and find any red gems that I can. Just like searching through debug, I found some red crystals just to represent the red gem on their forehead. I'm using the purple counters over here for my kitchen. I guess I can get over my oven hate for now and I'll just add a tiny little oven. So I have my kitchen all laid out. I hate how limited the purple options are in this game, but actually this kind of works. A base game table and chair combo. I don't hate it. I've added some curtains over here just so we can close them in the nighttime. Oh, this is a cute swatch from Life and Death for the little towel rack. I like that. I think I want a divider for this one, so I'm adding this from City Living, and I'm trying to find a good spot for some chairs and a bookshelf. Oh, I think we could fit a bookshelf right in here by that curtain. Oh, we're gonna need a pet bowl, assuming we have a cat here. And depending where the sun is, we could move this bed around depending on the time of day. All right, so we have our Espeon house. It is so bright in here. There's so much light coming in. We also definitely have that whimsical effect with all of like the occult decor in here and all the gems over here on the dresser. And it's super fun that we actually have the tarot in the Sims, so they can actually be their own psychic type. For the bathroom, similar to the ovens, I'm not feeling showers today. We're doing bathtubs only, apparently. All of the gold looks so nice with this wallpaper, so I think I'm just gonna keep that going. We can do like a fancy mirror. I'm gonna bring in some curtains just so we have them in here. Ooh, and what about the rug from Vintage Glamour? It is very much giving sunshine. Ooh, these lanterns in here would look pretty. I think I'm gonna actually add some of these in here too. Not that we need any more brightness in this room, but all right, there we go. That is a really pretty bathroom. Moving on, next we have Vaporeon. This is what came up when I searched Vaporeon aesthetic. Lots of ocean vibes, water of course, blue tones, you get it. Can I make a pool in here? Ooh, I can. We're gonna cut a lot of our space if I do, but I feel like we should do it. So I'm gonna have my bed here. I'll add an end table facing this way. That way we can add a lamp like this. And then I'm gonna add a table right here. I was thinking on there we could add towels. I'm gonna add a rug under the bed. Vaporeon is so cute. They have like the cutest little face. Oh, you could add a mirror in this corner. There are some aquatic pictures from Island Living, but I never use these because I feel like they look weird. But like I guess we could add them in this situation. It makes sense. I think it's the fact that you can't change the frame. Like even if I go in live mode, changing the frame will actually just change the picture. And then if you go and update it, it'll do the same thing. It'll just change the picture. It's really weird. The only thing with this one is I want to make it clear that it's for Vaporeon because Glaceon and Vaporeon have very similar color palettes. So I just want to be clear on whose is who, if you couldn't tell already by the pool. I'm gonna add a fishbowl at the end of the bed, and this is really cute so far. The only thing is we still need a kitchen. Okay, this one is definitely a little bit of a weird layout because we had to include the pool in this room. But hear me out, okay? We've got a mini fridge and a mini oven. Good thing I hate ovens today. Then I added an island in the center, and we still have a counter for prep. I'm gonna add some blue lights from Tiny Living. I don't know why Vaporeon keeps getting all this neon, but they are. I also added a bookshelf over here, which I'm just filling up with clutter. Oh, there's another basket of towels we can put here by the dresser. And then I think in the bathroom, I'm gonna use this wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle. It's like a sandstone wallpaper. I feel like it fits here. And okay, I was gonna hit them with a toilet, bathtub, and sink combo, but I think I'm gonna give them a shower too, since they love the water. I actually just sectioned off this part back here. The shape of the bathroom is what was really messing with me for the shower in the first place. So now we're able to just stick that in the corner. We just need to find a mirror. This one kind of looks like the gills as well. And I'm also gonna give them the seashell towels. Okay, cute. So we have our little Vaporeon bathroom, and we have their house in here complete with a pool. They've got the fountains going on the outside. Inside, they also have their own pool. I feel like adding a fountain on the interior might be a little much, right? Is that kind of crazy? I feel like it fills up the space a little better, but like they're too big. Maybe we get some smaller ones. There, that's definitely a little more tame. This is how it ended up from this side. And all right, we've officially finished the floor at the front. Is it really a Sid Mac video lately if I don't take a break halfway through and come back looking a little different? But this is what came up when I searched the Umbreon aesthetic. Again, we're doing black and gold. We're gonna see lots of nighttime stuff like stars and moons. So here's how I've laid out their house. They actually ended up with a little more room than the other ones because of the diagonal doors. So I was able to actually close in their bedrooms, and I did make some changes to the overall structures here because in the back, I just added some stairs for both of them so that we don't have to add that like common room where they would have to like go upstairs to the other one, you know? I figured that would just take up too much space. So now both of them just have little back entryways, and that's how you'll get up to each apartment. I think I've built an Umbreon room before. I feel like I have at some point on this channel. It was probably when I did my each room as a different Pokemon video. I think I did get Umbreon, but that's okay. They're also one of my faves. I feel like they're a really cool Pokemon, and this Get Famous rug is just perfect for this. So I'm gonna combine that with this bed, and I'm thinking because of the rings on their body, I'm gonna try and use circular furniture. I'm also gonna surround the bed with the moonlight, and similar to Espeon, I feel like we need a whimsical vibe in here. I feel like these don't cover the curtains quite enough, so I'm going in with some modern luxe curtains and kind of just like filling in the gap. I actually had to stop filming because I had to go to the dentist. I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel, but I had Invisalign for the past like year, and yesterday was my final appointment. I got everything taken off. I'm done. I'm honestly so happy that I did it and like stuck through with it. But like, okay, when I got them on, I found it really hard to get used to talking, and now that they're off, I also again feel weird talking. It's like I somehow got used to it, and now I have to like relearn just how to talk. I don't know if you've had any kind of braces or anything. I feel like you know what I'm talking about. It's a very strange feeling having something in your mouth for like a year and then it's just not there anymore. Okay, I feel like I'm getting sidetracked because this is turning out really cute. I love the black cat like frame TV we have here. I feel like we should add some of the werewolf decor. Oh, we're definitely adding the moon mirror somewhere. Maybe I'll put that in the bathroom for now. I picture this sim being a little bit more of like a loner sim. Maybe they enjoy spending time alone in their room, especially during the day, and then they come hang out at nighttime. Okay, so far this is what we have for Umbreon. I'm excited that we at least get to close in some of the bedrooms for this build. I think since I already started on the bathroom, I'm gonna go get that out of the way. There is this really fancy like jacuzzi tub. I think I'm gonna put that in the corner and it fits perfectly there. I'm gonna bring back the paranormal curtains. Oh, and Lovestruck has this light. Okay, I definitely have built a room for Umbreon before because I feel like I remember using that. We'll add a black and gold toilet from Realm of Magic, and then my sink can go over here. I'm gonna use this sink here from Growing Together, and then when I end up with a lot of space in a bathroom, I like adding an ottoman. Maybe we can stick some towels on there, just something like that, and we can just add a bath mat. Okay, not Umbreon with like the fanciest bathroom. I like it. I like that tile too. That's from Vampires. And then coming over to the main room, I think I can add my kitchen right here by the door. here. I'm gonna use Realm of Magic kitchen appliances because they have the black and gold. I honestly did not anticipate such a tricky layout with this. I feel like the kitchens have been especially hard because you need such a flat space to be able to fit all of the counters. It's definitely been a little tricky to navigate. I'm adding some hanging plants from Journey to Batu. I don't think I'm gonna crowd this space here with a dining table. We can move that over into this side. We already have a TV in the bedroom, so I feel like I don't have to add another one out here. We can just add some black chairs. I'm gonna use these gold rings as decor from Journey to Batu, and maybe we add a bookshelf. I again just pictured this sim reading at home a lot. Maybe they're really smart. I'm gonna add a little bit of the touch of starlight in the kitchen, and all right, there we have our home for Umbreon. This one is so much different than the other ones. I'm gonna even delete some of the overhead lighting so it's a little bit darker in here for them, but there we go. That's our Umbreon house all done. The next one will be for Glaceon, our ice type Pokemon. Again, you can see the colors here so similar to Vaporeon. We have to really nail that icy, snowy aesthetic. So here's what I did for this layout. We've got the bedroom separated again. I'm aiming for a little bit of an icier, lighter blue. I want to have white fluffy rugs. We could add these curtains from high school years. I'll add some end tables. Ooh, the salt lamp, we can add that. And maybe I'll change it to a bluey color so we get that icy look. And you know what? Similar to how we use these outside for Jolteon, I feel like we could use them for Glaceon too. They kind of have a similar thing going on where they change their fur into needles. So I've changed the lighting of those over so they look more icy. We could add a mirror in this corner. Ooh, there's the holiday wall speaker with the snowflakes on it. I like this dresser for this room. And also with this kind of aesthetic, I feel like we could be using a lot of glass. I'll use that coffee table. We can add a TV. And I also do really like the look of the crystals we added outside. So I'm gonna try and add these, even though they are a little bit big. I'll try and get some of the smaller ones and we'll just place those around the table. Maybe we also add some of the streamers up here. Some more of the shards, which I'm gonna change these over as well. Do we have any kind of icicle looking lights? I mean, we have these, but I feel like that might be a little fancy for this room. I could try and put it out in the main room there. Glaceon, of course, does not like fire, so no candles in here. I'm gonna try not to really add any plants either. And if I do, they're just gonna look dead like this one. Ooh, Seasons has this picture. I guess I could use that and have my counters right here. Then we can go with the blue fridge. Ooh, the oven again. Do we do it? They don't like heat. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, what can they realistically cook without it? Fruit salad and somehow eggs and toast, but I don't really think that is true. Look, if they're hungry, they can just go to Umbreon's house, get a little snack, and then scurry right back upstairs. Oh, we could use this as our centerpiece. And then I need a smaller love seat that I can add right here by the door. On this side, I'm adding a bookshelf. I'm looking through for more blue crystals we can add. Oh, there's that little icy tree sculpture. And there is this giant ice sculpture. Can this be our Sims version of a Glaceon? I don't know, I kind of like him and I have that weird space. It's just literally a corner space. Do we keep him? He's like a pet. Can we keep him? I feel like to match the chandelier, we need a bit of a fancier love seat and rug. So I'm gonna go with these ones from base game instead. Okay, that matches so much better. I think I do want to bring in the Love Struck lights as the snow idea that we have outside. So I'm just gonna change all of these over to the white lights. That way it's gonna look nice and magical and snowy in here. Oh, I also forgot about these sculptures. These are from Jungle Adventure. They also kind of look icy. All right, so this is how our Glaceon apartment turned out. I love the little lights as snow. I feel like I was a little limited on snowy inspired items I could use in here, but I feel like we made it work by finding random icicle items. Here it is over to this side with our little statue. And then for the bathroom, it had a similar layout to Umbreon's. They also have the really fancy jacuzzi. I added another one of the fancy lights. And there we have our house for Glaceon. Finally, coming over to the last two apartments. The next one is going to be for Flareon. This one's going to be nice and fiery, warm toned. Flareon is also such a little cutie. They just look so fluffy. So I am definitely going to be using candles in here. I'm also thinking about maybe going with some brick. Ooh, this one does look good. And even though I think Flareon is adorable, I feel like we shouldn't go cutesy here. We need to go fiery and bold. I think again, instead of sectioning this off, I'm going to use a divider lighter. And we're just gonna use so many candles, torches, braziers. There's these candles from Dine Out. I want a fireplace in this room. Maybe we'll have two. Like we could do one on this side and one over here by the bed. It's gonna be hot in here. Ooh, I like this one so far, like the warm tones of it. This one feels a little more mature, which is Flareon Generation 1. I think they are, which technically means they would be one of the older Pokemon. Or we could use these wall lights from Vampires. I again don't really want to put plants in this one. This is not going to be a planty room. That does look so cozy so far though. I'm kind of just trying to find some other decor that matches the room for now. Like, okay, yes, this is kind of becoming one of my favorites so far. Unexpected, but here we are. We could put a bookshelf here. I was using Love Struck furniture. I like the way that it looks with this aesthetic. The Sims 4 kids room stuff does have like little critters that this one kind of like, you know, resembles Flareon a tiny bit in my opinion. So I'm just gonna let him hang out right here on the fireplace. Okay, cool. We've got our living room done. Bedroom is done. Now we just have to do the kitchen, and guess what we can have in this house? An oven. I think I'm nominating Flareon as the designated chef of this little village. I'm gonna wrap the kitchen all the way around like this. I can add a sink right here, and we'll just give them a bunch of kitchen clutter. Everyone's coming over here to eat. Now all we need is a table. I don't want it to get in the way. I think it would be okay right here. Sims can move around the diagonal spaces pretty well. All right, this is how the Flareon house turned out. I think, yeah, this has to be an unexpected favorite for me. I love the orangey tones in here. I love how warm it looks. Like, it looks hot in here. The bedroom is super cute. And then for the bathroom, I did add a big jacuzzi for them too. I wanted it to be like a hot spring, but of course I didn't have room for that in here. But I feel like that kind of passes, even though it does have the grass on it. I did also give them a similar shower because, you know, Flareon is just having the hottest showers ever. And okay, we only have one more to go, which is going to be Jolteon. I'm a little nervous for this one because I feel like the electricity is going to be hard to portray in The Sims, but we're going to try our best. So our door for this one, again, is over in the corner because of the balcony that I made. And I think we could do a black and yellow for this, or maybe even an industrial vibe. I really wanted to include the weather machine, this one from Seasons, because you can create thunderstorms with it. It just is quite ugly. I don't really have room for it on my balcony either. I'll just put it over here for now. I think I am gonna lean into the industrial vibe, but I do want to keep using these shards, and I don't know if they're gonna match that aesthetic. Like, what do we do here? Add a bunch of lamps? I think yes, right? That makes sense to me. Oh, I think there is a lightning neon light. Yup, it's under high school years. Okay, I'm gonna add this. Like, obviously we have to. We can do a yellow mirror. Okay, wait, this is kind of cute. Maybe it's not just lights we can use for electricity. We could also add a desk and a computer. No one really has a computer here. Ooh, our Jolteon is a tech nerd. We figured it out. I really want to make these in cast, by the way, so let me know if you want to see a Create a Sim video for this. Oh my gosh, I just turned around and forgot about the weather machine. I don't think there's any issues with fire here, so I can add an oven. I can add a table right here. We can add a speaker in here. I would add a TV too, but we kind of don't have room for it because of this monstrosity. Oh, this clock is a good one. It has like the spikes like Jolteon. All right, so we have our Jolteon room done. The final house is complete. This turned out a lot cuter than I thought it would. I don't know why this one made me the most nervous, but we did it. I like it. I like that we have the computer in here, the weather machine. Things are about to get crazy at Jolteon's house. I also did the bathroom. They've got the big jacuzzi tub, a little ottoman. It's nice and bright in here. And there we go. What a journey this has been. 8 houses later in this massive Eeveelution village. Tell me which one was your favorite, which Eeveelution is your personal fave. And if you guys like this video, I did do an each room is a different Pokemon video a little while ago. I'll link that below, and I also have been playing Pokopia a lot on this channel, so I'll link those down below as well. If you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.